easy. So when I got here and met fellow Ugandans, everybody was like, my visa took 2 days, my visa took 7 days, and mine took 3 months.
Oh,
Yes, it was denied. It was, I mean, initially denied, and then I appealed, and it was given. It was granted.
wow.
Yeah.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So hi, hello, if you're new here, my name is Anne and on here I do talk about life and study in Italy, and today we have a guest, an amazing person, someone I so much love, and today she's here. So she's going to go on ahead and introduce herself. So please go on ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, friends. How are you? My name is Hilda Gloria. I am Ugandan, born and raised. I live in Milan, Italy. I've been here for nearly 10 years. In November, it's going to be 10 years. I am an entrepreneur. I do have a day job. I am also a content creator. Yeah. Most importantly, I'm a daughter of God.
Ah, yes, yes, most importantly. Okay, so we're going to start with like outside of this introduction, can you tell us a bit more about yourself, like which university you studied at? So let's start from there.
I did come here to study at the University of Cattolica, Catholic University of Milan.
Okay.
I did my master's in accounting, and life just kept on unfolding from there. I later on got a job and started pursuing my modeling and content creation career. And here I am 10 years later. Yes.
Wow. So I want you to tell us a bit about the process. It's been 10 years, I know, but then what was the process like moving from Uganda to Italy to come and study in the University of Cattolica?
Okay. Well, the process was very interesting. I did my undergraduate degree in Egypt. I do share these videos and, my experience in Milan on my YouTube channel. When I was in Egypt, I applied to several universities and I got admission at the Catholic University. It was a very interesting process. It was very long. I came here in November while my friends had arrived in August, at the end of August. That was when I was supposed to arrive. It was a bit tricky with the visa, getting the DOV, dichiarazione di valore. It was very tricky, but in the end I made it. Of course, they required all these outrageous things. Like I needed to have 6,000 euros on my account, and I was a student. I didn't have a job. It was a bit too many requirements. I needed to have paid accommodation for a full year that time, which my family did, luckily. I mean, there was a bunch of, it wasn't very easy, I would say. I don't know about now, but back then, especially that I was doing it in a country where I wasn't born, it wasn't very easy. So when I got here and met fellow Ugandans, everybody was like, my visa took 2 days, my visa took 7 days, and mine took 3 months.
Oh,
Yes, it was denied. It was, I mean, initially denied, and then I appealed, and it was given. It was granted.
wow.
Yes.
How did you go about that?
Well, they didn't give me a response up until like the 5th of November. So I went to the embassy and I asked them to give me my passport because my Egyptian visa was about to expire and I didn't want it to, expire and overstay because then I would get in trouble, arrested, or, anything. So I wanted to actually get the passport to go home, but God had other plans because actually I had paid the tuition and everything, accommodation. So it was really going to be a loss for my family, but I was fed up of, waiting and calling and no response, emails, no response. So when I got there, they told me your visa was denied. And I'm like, why was it denied? So there was a lady, she was very kind. She told me it's because your accommodation form didn't have a stamp. And she also told me that we just want to know that the school is still waiting for you because it's really late. So I told her if I bring these things, can I can I get the visa? She's like, yeah. So I went out, made the call, and in 5 minutes I had an email with a stamp and a confirmation from the university, and just like that, my visa, was granted immediately.
Wow. That's that was that's a whole story.
Yeah.
I could just imagine how you felt after realizing that they actually, denied the visa.
I was disappointed, but I was angry because they didn't tell me. They should have told me why.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah,
they should have told me your visa has been denied because of this and this, and then I
because of
see
this.
fix it. Because we're talking about tuition. I had paid the tuition. I had paid accommodation for a full year. I had gotten my parents free 6,000 euros on my account so that I could,
Mhm.
get the visa. But they needed their money back, and there I was. I'm not traveling. I'm not. I wasn't home. It was a bit tricky situation. I just needed to get out of it. Either I come or I go. Like,
You
yeah,
go.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So you were in Egypt, but then so you processed everything in Egypt.
Egypt, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. That's good. Okay, so were you on any university scholarship in Cattolica?
Yes, I was on a university scholarship called the Africa Scholarship. International students are supposed to pay 15,000 euros in that school because it's a private school. But I got a waiver and I only paid 2,500 euros per year as tuition.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a discount, yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So were you on it throughout the 2 years for your masters?
Yeah. Yes, it was only 2 years, thank goodness. That's 5,000 euros already. So yes, I had to pay that in 2 years. Yes.
Okay. So what you thought of Italy, like the expectations you had, like while moving, and then you coming in, studying, you're not going to talk about the entire 10 years, but then the moment you moved in as a student,
Mhm.
how was it like for you?
I arrived in November. It was a sunny day, nice and warm, like today. And then the following day, it started to rain from the 12th of November to the 27th of December. It was raining every single day. I'm like, OMG, what is this weather? The weather in Milan is very gloomy, especially during like autumn and winter. And I mean, I'm from a very sunny place. I was born under sunshine, basically. The sun shines in Uganda almost every day. It shines almost every day in Egypt. That was a shocker, though. Then I got here and I had to learn a new language. That was a shock. Of course, lots of culture shocks. When I was in Egypt, men had to stay in their own space on the metro, and ladies had to stay in like their own carousel. So when I got here and everybody was mixed, I was like, oh, because in Uganda everybody's mixed, and then in Egypt you had to really be careful. You had to go to the women's carousel. It was a law. You had to be in the women's carousel. So when I came here and everybody would just jump into any, I was like, okay. It was a bit strange, yeah.
Wow, wow. But then as a Ugandan and then moving to Italy, what were some of the cultural shocks you experienced?
That I'm black. When I was in Uganda, I knew I was black, but nobody made it so obvious that I am
Mhm,
black. So
mhm.
I got to know that I'm black, and like be reminded all the time that I'm black when I moved to Egypt and here as well. But in Egypt I was a student, and I was, among the young people. I didn't get to experience going to work and, just trying to immerse myself into the culture and spending a very long time. I was there only to study, and during the summer holidays I'd go home in Egypt. Here I was here, and then moved from being a student to being an intern to becoming an employee to becoming an entrepreneur. I have seen it. People will remind you that you're black, young, and a woman.
Wow.
So all those things will always be reminded
And
whenever you try to push into a space. I mean, I've also gotten the opportunity to not only work in the profession where I studied, but also in other professions. For example, I am a model, and you are reminded you're black, like all the time. You're black, like, yeah.
Wow.
The other thing was the, I mean, right now I understand, and I truly, applaud Italians for, loving their language and speaking their language, and making everything in their language, which is not what we have back home.
Yeah.
But like the fact that they weren't okay to speak English or to speak any other foreign language for me was like, really? But now things have changed a bit in Milan.
Yeah.
It's become more diverse.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, those
Yeah.
were the
That's
two main shocks.
okay. Okay. But like when you moved in, was it easy, like getting like maybe African food, getting things for your hair as a black person?
No. Italy has changed. 10 years ago in Milan, you would struggle to find like an African shop or like a foreigner's shop, Asian's shop. Up to now, it's really difficult to find a decent African shop that sells things that
Wow.
really cater to us. I'll tell you about makeup. When I came here, I used to buy my makeup in Paris. Why? Because there wasn't enough sample space probably for them to create the products for the market. There weren't as many black girls that cared to do their makeup probably. So you would walk into Italian brands like Kiko, like Wycon, and the only shade they had was up to like a mixed race girl. They didn't have anything, to as dark as myself or even people that are darker than me. For me, that was like, oh, okay, Italy has some long way to go. Yes. Hair, it was ridiculously expensive compared to back home. I had to book appointments. There weren't as many black hairdressers as there. And right now, people used to do hair, in our homes or in their homes. But right now, we have beauty shops where you actually go to and, get your hair done. I came with braids, so I used to have like braids most of the time because I couldn't trust Italian salons to, do my Afro hair. I wasn't sure they would, do it how I want, or probably had, I don't even know if they had the experience to work on 4C hair. So I didn't stress them on that. And I didn't want to ever stress anyone on that. But yeah, hair products, food products. I'm quite easy when it comes to food. I can easily adapt. I
Okay.
love Italian food. So I'm not the person, I'm not the kind that will die because I'm not eating Ugandan food.
Okay.
For me, that was okay. The food
Okay.
wasn't that bad. I'm Ugandan. We don't spice our food a lot, and Italians also have basically
That,
like food. Yeah. So for me,
that-
that was a very big deal. But yeah, there are things that you want from home, like the spices. No, we couldn't find them 10 years ago. No, you couldn't have as many black friends as
mm,
we as I do have now back then. Yeah.
that's true. That's true. That's true. But then, how was the entire experience like for you, just for the 2 years that you studied in the university?
Well, I went to a very international school. Had so many foreigners, really many foreigners. Like I think it was more foreigners than Italians because I was in the international like part.
Oh,
Um, it was quite good. People, everybody. The program was in English. People spoke English. Very diverse. It was okay. The studying was okay. If I had just come to Italy to study and then left, I would have a different perception. If I
okay.
had not immersed myself into the workspace, the entrepreneur space, and going through all the bureaucracy and everything behind that, life was good then. It was very easy. Yeah, the professors were very friendly, so professional. I met amazing friends from all over the world. It was good. Life was good then.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so what were some, some student jobs that you yourself did, like while studying in Milan, and what others would you recommend for, students coming to study? Yeah.
A lot. Um, First of all, I have a video on my YouTube channel called
Yeah.
Call Me Hilda that shares about 10 jobs or 15 jobs that you can do as a student. I'm going to talk about what I did and what I saw my friends doing because I think people can benefit from that as well. When I was a student, I started a business called Call Me not Triggy Bags. It's called Triggy Bags, not Call Me. That blushes later. Triggy Bags would sell bags. I mean, I would buy bags from Italy and send them to African countries and then get money. That is one job. Job number two is in the library. They wanted like a librarian assistant in the university. So I applied to that job, got it, but only worked 2 months because it was like a maternity cover. And, the person who was covering left and then, yeah. And then what else did I do? I was a babysitter. I was a tutor. That was the easiest job to get then. Being a English speaking babysitter and tutor was really easy. I made lots of money from that. Families in Milan are okay. They were okay to pay up to like 20 euros an hour. Yeah. For you to just pick up the kids from school and, hang around with them, take them to the park, play with them, and, give them a shower and leave in the evening when they come back. So that one was good. The other job was being a personal shopper. I used to go to shops and take photos of clothes, shoes, bags, and lots of perfumes, lots of other things, and post on my social media, and people would order them and I would buy them for them. Of course, I would take a commission. Yes, that is how I made money. My friends made money in the school canteen. We had a school canteen where we used to eat the mensa, where we used to eat, and they needed people to help like organize. For example, when students are eating, somebody who organizes the lines, who organizes the trays, the plates, who shows you where to go, where, somebody who already knows the system, who helps you with your ID, because we needed to check in with the ID. Yeah. So they used to do that job. My other friends were like professor assistants, professors needed assistants. And one of my friends was, basically they choose, of course, the very smart ones. They choose somebody to help tutor other, students,
Yes.
or like give a lesson, an extra lesson, because probably they didn't understand it. Or if, a professor just needs somebody to assist, in following up on assignments, following a schedule, managing an agenda, and lots of other things. Then modeling was the other job at the time that I did. I remember my friends also worked as, what do they call them? I mean, they used to go to supermarkets and get like journals, newspapers, and then they would like give them to homes. They take them to homes and then get paid for that, because they would have like promotions from the supermarkets. So yeah, they would get paid per hour. Another friend of mine was a dog sitter. There was somebody who had a dog and wanted it to be walked in the morning and in the afternoon. So yes, they did that. Then then during the holidays, they would keep the dog. We did lots of jobs in Milan. Yes.
Wow.
Bars, working at bars in the night, at happy hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of jobs, supermarkets, assisting, organizing things in H&M, Primark. Yeah.
Wow. That's a whole lot.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot. And I'm sure those jobs are still like available like today, even
Yeah,
today.
right now, what amazes me is that they're not only limited to students, but like also other people can do the jobs. So absolutely, they are still available. And I mean, it's really nice. I feel blessed to have studied in this city, because I mean, the cost of living is quite high, and to not have a job, a student job, can be really difficult.
Because that's actually true. That's actually true. So regarding accommodation, because I know the housing situation in Milan, like what can students that are moving there, what can they do like regarding accommodation?
Well, accommodation, oh my gosh, it is like a big elephant in the room that has to be kicked. I mean, something has to be done, because the prices now are ridiculous, especially from the end of COVID towards like now. Things are just getting worse. But what I would do is, what I would advise a person that is coming to Milan and they're looking for accommodation is that just don't stay in the city centers. Don't stay in the city center. Don't stay near the university. It is more expensive if you stay near the university, because it's a high competition, unless if you can afford it. Live in the suburbs. I live in the suburbs, and I used to live in the suburbs back then. Live in the suburbs. You would pay a little bit more for the transportation, but it's not as equivalent to, you know, the difference in rent. For example, right now a shared room in Milan is like 600 to 700 euros, whereas that could just give you a whole room outside Milan, which I think for me is, you know, better value for money.
Right.
And if you want your privacy and you have, you know, your own space, if you're new to a city, really you don't want to just be sharing rooms with people. The other thing I would say is, if you're a student, stay in the university dorms. They are cheaper. I stayed there when I was a student in my first year. They are cheaper, and I remember I paid 350 euros for a shared room, and it had all the bills except meals. I think that was a good deal. So look into that. Of course, you have to get in there because of grades. You have to study really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah, I
true.
think that's one of the options to consider. Then you can go to like nuns places. What do they call them? Places where nuns stay, suori. What do they call them? Like, they do have dormitories where you
Okay.
can, yeah, where you can pay a very low price, or they can say that you can exchange a service.
Oh, okay.
They could ask you to, let's say, clean the
Mm-hmm.
place.
Mm-hmm.
Like 100 euros per month. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's a balance, but I must say that rent in Milan is not going down for now, and the bills are ridiculous. Be very careful with the contracts. They will give you a round figure, but then behind it might be other costs like condominium fees, gas, electricity, water. So just make sure that you understand the contract really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's actually very, very true. That's
Yeah.
very true.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for sharing that, because this is really important for those moving in
Yeah.
to know all this information before kind of like signing a contract or moving into the city center and actually struggling to kind of like pay the rent and all of that. That's actually really, really true.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing about that.